Hello everyone, my name is Anish Rana and you're watching Prometheus web series. Today our topic is service discovery. In service discovery, we can divide it into three parts. The first one is file SD, the second one is HTTP SD, and the third one is Kubernetes. In file and HTTP SD means service discovery. In this, we will add the content statically. In file SD, with the help of node exporter, we can fetch the data and obviously we will create the file JSON or YAML file in the Prometheus server only. However, for HTTP, we can fetch the data from the client machine. And for this, we don't need node exporter. But for file SD, we need a node exporter for client machine. However, for the Kubernetes, it's a totally different that we can identifying the client machines and objects dynamically. We don't need to add statically. For that reason, we will cover this Kubernetes part in a separate video. Today, we will going to cover file SD and HTTP SD. SD stands for service discovery. So let's move forward. Let's talk about HTTP service discovery. To be very honest, I haven't observed a good content over the internet for file SD. Description says that Prometheus provide generic HTTP server discovery that enables it to discover target over HTTP endpoint. Over HTTP endpoint. It means that the HTTP server discovery is complementary to support server discovery mechanism and its alternative to the file-based server discovery. As I said, both are same, but yes, this file HTTP SD is the alternative of file-based server discovery. When it says target over HTTP endpoint, it means that we need to install the Nginx or Apache web server to expose our file. Let's take the comparison. What's the difference between both of them? The event based, it says yes, we can enable it with the help of iNotify. However, for HTTP SD, there is no event based. Update frequency, it should be instant thanks to iNotify. As I said that we will going to create the file in the Prometheus server itself. So it will notify on the spot. However, for HTTP SD, we will rely on refresh interval rate that we configured for 15 second or 30 second, whatever we have configured. It depends. So whenever Prometheus server scrap the content, it fetch the data at that time only. Format, it can be YAML or JSON, but for HTTP SD, it should be JSON. If you create the file with YAML format, it will not take it into the consideration. Transport, it is a local file, as I said, and here it can be HTTP or HTTPS. Security, file-based security here, and it says TLS. Obviously, when we use HTTPS, then it will be a TLS or basic authentication or authorization header or OAuth 2. Example, we will do directly on the lab. As I said, for file server discovery, file based server discovery, I don't find a good theoretical documentation, even though in the Prometheus web server. So we will do the lab only. The next topic is lab for server discovery. Now I have opened my GitHub account. The account name is Anish Rana 2001, and you need to click on Prometheus repository. And after that, you will land to this page. And here today we will going to cover server discovery part 1. I will add or upload this PPT over here once I upload the video on my YouTube channel. Let's click on file SD. It says that create a JSON file as per your requirement. You may populate the data inside the labels. As of now, I have just added here job equal to node. Let me copy here and it says temp in file JSON file. I will update this file, don't worry. And there is one problem here. Let me copy this here I have already logged in into my master node. Let me create this file till here. We can also check this file if it's populated good or not. Yes, this file is good. And here I have mentioned 32. This machine has the IP address of 192.168.1.31 and 32 is my worker node 1 where I have installed the node exporter. Let me show you on my web browser here. If I click on status, the target, as of now, we have node exporter on two machine. If I click on show here, I can see 32 and 31. We have two machine where we have installed the node exporter packages, right? Once we create the file, take it as an example that we have updated some variable in this file. And after that, we need to update the Prometheus configuration file that you need to read this. Okay, for that reason, we need to update our Prometheus server configuration file, right? Now you need to copy here. And after that, at the end of the line, you just need to add one new target. And the target name is, job name is node file underscore sd underscore config. This is the syntax. And inside this, we have file and then the full path name with file name. Okay. Just copy here. So this is the syntax that you need to add. I just pasted over here and you can see that the indentation is good. The job name. Now we will observe a new target with this node name. Okay. Let me save here. And after that, it is always good to check the parameter or to check the syntax of this configuration file. For that reason, I'm just adding here. Let's check. Yes, all are successful. Now we can restart our Prometheus server or we can use killhub command. Last time I used killhub. This time I'm using restart. Okay. Let's move to our Prometheus web GUI. If I refresh this page, I see something happening here. This node is showing me here. So let's wait for one more minute. Now I can see that node is up here. It is says 32 and node here. Also, we can execute the up matrix name. Here I can see job equal to node and this is my IP address of my second node machine. What we can do here, let's take an example in this configuration file. Let me add some different IP address where we have not installed the node exporter. It is 33. Let me show you here status and target. It says down. The 33 is its instant update. This is what I said in my theoretical part that it will take instant with the help of I notify. It says down. It means that it check only for the node exporter where we have installed we can use here. Now let me add here 31 my local machine and refresh my page. It says unknown. Now as you can see here that 31 IP address is again up here. This is how you can statically monitor some parameters if you wish. Let's move to our second lab that is HTTP service. We will going to install the HTTP service on our Nginx VM and the IP address of this VM is this one. You may have different IP address. It's okay. I'm just using a separate VM which is not the part of my Kubernetes cluster also. It's a separate VM. For HTTP service, we'll install the Nginx web server and then create a web page. In this web page, we will add the alert details. Let me create this mkdir/data and here I have already logged in into my Nginx machine. Let me execute ifconfig and it says 168.1.7 IP address. Okay. Now I need to create one directory. After that, I need to go inside this directory. It's okay. Now install the Nginx web server from yum utility. How we can do it? We can just copy this machine and paste it over here. Now I have installed the Nginx package, modify the Nginx configuration file and make sure the default type, it should be application JSON file. I had observed this issue, so I troubleshooted it. And where it says include this one. So let me search this include only, and include it says Nginx etc Nginx MIME types. It says MIME type is here, and the default type is application JSON. It should be application JSON. Let me modify here. Okay, application JSON. Save this file. After that, create a new default.conf file, and our web server will returning on port number 8080. User location is USR local Nginx file here. I'm just copy this file. Here I'm going to create default.conf file. Nothing. It's all are normal. The error page is there. And the main thing is that it is here. Location, health, access log, return 200. That's it. I'm just creating one file. That's it. After that, we can also create the health Z file. We have installed the new Nginx services, so we need to start the services. And obviously, when this VM reboot, it should be automatically start. So I'm just enabling this service. If you observe some issue, you can execute this command here. General CTL xeu nginx.says. For me, everything is good. You can troubleshoot if you observe some issue here. Now, in Prometheus server, obviously we have added our new configuration nginx details. So we need to open this file, and remember this is my Prometheus server, right? And inside this scrap config, I need to add another job name, that is whatever the name you want to add here. After that, path is /helz. This is the page that we created. And inside this, we have mentioned http underscore sd service discovery config. And the URL is my 7. And the port number I'm using here is 8080. Whatever the port number we can use here. We are running our Nginx on port number 8080. This is what we have mentioned here. Listening 8080. Okay. And refresh interval is 1 minute. You can add whatever you want. I just added here. I'm not going to use this one scrap config. I just copy these lines only. At the end of the line of this, at the end of this file, I'm just adding all these value here. Now, as you can see here, the indentation is not good. That is bad. At the indentation, all indentation are good here. Matrix HTTP, all indentation are good here. Let me save this file. After that, before killing this thing, kill all Prometheus process. Let me check if we did some mistake or not. It's successful. Now we can easily execute this command without any issue. Prometheus hub, no process found. Why it says it is not started? Okay. Here P is in capital. For that reason, it says it gave me the error message. I will modify it, don't worry. There will be some mistake. If you observe some issue, you can execute this command here. For me, everything is working fine, so I'm not going to execute this command here. If you want, you can also restart this service. This is what I mentioned here. It's time to check the Prometheus GUI. You need to log in into the Prometheus GUI, and the port number is 9090. For me, I have already logged in here. Status, target, service discovery, and configuration. Status, target. Let's check the target. we are already here, so we can refresh our page here. And now you can observe that HTTP HD is my up. If I click on show more, I can see that this health Z is showing me everything here. Oh, that's great. We can also check status service discovery. What it says, service discovery, we can see HTTP HD this here. Okay. Now, the third thing is that we can also check the status and configuration file. Status and configuration. We can see if we go down here, we can see all these values are here. If you want to modify anything, you can use owner's type, whatever. If you want to modify, you can copy this and modify in the configuration file. I hope you like this chapter. If you like this chapter, please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that you will get a new videos notification. I will add all these videos free of cost, but yes, if you want to support me, you can also donate. If you